Hey guys, Furum here, and today I'm going to be testing the Porsche 718 Cayman in multiplayer in Asphalt 9. I decided to test this car because it was available from the very beginning of the Aventador series, and it's a sort of forgotten car, and you guys know I like testing those cars and seeing just how I can do with them. So I've maxed it with all import parts and upgrades except for the epic ones, which I'm pretty sure almost nobody has. So in this video, we're going to be facing a lot of Dodge Vipers, Mercedes-AMG GTSs, BMW Z4s, and even some Aventadors, all of which are better cars than this one. So yeah, let's see what happens using a Bronze League car in Gold League. In this first race, we've got a Viper, a couple AMGs, a couple M4s, and one SRT8. I think we all know who's going to come in last. Just ahead of us is a Viper ACR, a car which I certainly, definitely, totally have not called a GTS on multiple occasions. But anyway, it seems that that car is quite good for multiplayer, and I do plan to make a video on it this season. It was available in some past seasons, but I just had other videos to put out at that time, and I just don't have infinite time to make videos with. So yeah, I'm planning to make a video about that car this season, and the Aventador SV, which I have now 4 stars, so that is my plan for this week. But let's get back to the car at hand. So the Cayman feels rather average, let's just say. It doesn't feel especially great in any area. Its top speed of 191 miles per hour is pretty good for Class D. However, its drifting is nothing special, neither is its acceleration or nitro efficiency. I think that's one reason this car may have been forgotten, because it's not really the best nor the worst at anything, and things like that just kind of get left, well, forgotten. And I would like to show in my videos that these forgotten cars in Asphalt 9, just a year after the game's release, can be useful if you know how to drive them properly. And where to use them, because some are better in multiplayer, some better in events. So here we beat that Viper as well as those other cars. Now in that race we saw what a 3-star Viper could do. Definitely was not an easy battle, and in this race we have a 4-star Viper, which is better than this car in pretty much every way. And he bumps us at the beginning, which thankfully put us right up to our top speed. And it slowed him down to the speed that I was at before he bumped me. I know that from experience. And us two, less than 20 seconds into the race, have already left everybody else behind. That seemed to be a common theme in my races in the Cayman. The Vipers were the cars that I struggled the most against, and the M4s and the AMGs, well, not so much. While the M4 may be able to do better than the ACR in events, the ACR, I would say, is probably a better multiplayer car, simply because of its ease of driving. In my Z01 video, I talk a lot about that sort of difference. Now, I want to thank you all for your continuing support and for helping me to reach 16,000 subscribers. I uploaded a music video, my first Asphalt 9 music video, actually, in celebration of that. So if you haven't seen it yet, be sure to check it out. I've been working on it for a few months, and I think it's pretty catchy. I've actually been working on the song so long that I memorized all the lyrics subconsciously, and I sometimes just find myself singing through like the entire first verse. Yes, it's catchy. So we beat this Viper here. It was a lot closer than previously, and then the AMG and M4s were kind of dispersed throughout the lower section. In this race, we have more Vipers. 4 to be exact, as well as a couple AMGs and a 911. The Vipers have a distinct acceleration, handling, and nitro efficiency advantage, while the 911 and AMGs have a distinct top speed advantage, so let's just say this is not gonna be easy. But as you know from my Z01 video, I like a challenge, so of course I was going to try. And as people have said in the comments, making a car purple definitely makes it better and faster. Totally. And making it metallic would make it do even better. However, I was not able to make this car metallic because, well, to do that, you have to play cars in events a lot. And I actually forgot pretty much about this car. But then Norman Wong reminded me of it, so I decided to give it a try. We narrowly missed getting knocked down by those Vipers, and here I thought maybe I can knock down one of them with my Shockwave, but that didn't happen. It seems like whenever I hit somebody from behind with Shockwave, they don't get knocked down, but when somebody just touches me from behind without anything, I get knocked down. I don't know exactly why, but it just seems to be that way. Now here, I do manage to pass that one Viper, and we've just got 2 people in front of us left to go. With pretty much all cars, I believe it's faster to take this turn by shockwaving and wall riding rather than drifting and then shockwaving, because it does not allow you to lose as much speed, assuming you do it properly. Now there, I passed that Viper narrowly because he decided to go up in the air. For some reason, that didn't allow him to go faster. But anyways, we catch up a bit closer to this other Viper near the end, and finish in second position. Not too bad when facing a host of cars that are pretty much all better than mine. Now, this next race is a bit of a comeback race against an Aventador SV, which is the main car for this season. Not only is there an Aventador, but there are also 3 Mercedes AMGs as well as 3 Porsche 911s. Now, the races so far in this video have not been too bad at all, but this one is an example of a little bit more of an annoying race, you might say. However, it does allow me to show that this car does have a little bit of comeback power, at least. You'll see what I mean in a little bit. So again, in this race, we are at a huge speed disadvantage. Every other car is at least 20 miles per hour faster than us. There, we managed to knock the SV down, so hopefully that will make it a bit easier to come in one of the top positions. Now here, we get knocked down upon landing. I'm not exactly sure how. That car barely touched me, and we just exploded. That seems to be my luck this multiplayer season. I can ram into somebody hard from behind and 360 them, see like that, and they don't get knocked down, and I just get slowed down. But somebody just kind of taps me from behind, and I go boom. It doesn't make any sense. But I was determined to do my best, even though we are already 2/3 of the way through the race, and 5 out of 8 position. Thankfully, in this season, it doesn't seem like you can lose more than 20 points. Now, you don't go up as much as in previous seasons. If you come in first, you may go up like 25 maximum or something if you come in first in an 8-player race, at least from my experience, unlike 40 from before. But hey, you can't lose more than 20. So there, we passed one person at the last second, and thus we come in 3 out of 8. I did not expect that after getting knocked down in the beginning, so the 2 cars that beat us were Porsche 911s, and that Aventador we knocked down actually came in 7th, so he wasn't able to recover. In this race, we're facing 6 Vipers and 1 M4. Now, I do not really care for this specific Egypt track in multiplayer because of problems like this one happening at the beginning. You see, everybody wants to go up all the ramps at the start to get the best airtime and stuff like that, but then you've got people shockwaving into others, people barrel rolling and landing on top of others, people pushing others down to the bottom of barrel rolls, causing them to land on their top. I know all those from experience, mind you. So yeah, I'm very glad I managed to get out of there unscathed and in 3rd position. Now, one good thing about the beginning of that, if you can get out without wrecking or getting knocked down or some other bad thing happening to you, you can usually count on those things happening to at least a few of the other people. I still don't like this track for multiplayer, but after practicing it a bit in the weekly competitions, and given that it worked out pretty well in this race, I think we're going to do pretty good here. Now, in this season, all the races are 1 lap until you get to Platinum League. Then, a lot of the races are still 1 lap, but you do get some 2-lap ones. That seems to be what they've done in the past several seasons. And I think it works pretty well, because for the most part, people like the 1-lap races. Some people like 2-lap races, though, so they throw them in there occasionally. It seems like, in this case, they have really listened to the community in this case. Now, we would like to see more open seasons and more unlimited fuel seasons and stuff like that, but I'm just glad that they are listening and putting at least some of our suggestions into play. So we come in 2nd in this race, somehow defeating that horde of Vipers and that M4, all of which were higher ranked than me, except for that Viper that came in last place. In this race, we have 5 Vipers, 1 Porsche 911, and 1 Aventador SV. As I said, I plan to test the Viper and the SV later in the week. Currently, there is something going on called the Incredible Video Editing Contest. It started on February 15th and is going to end on March 4th. And the winner will get 60 Sheeran blueprints, as well as 1,000,000 credits and 1,000 tokens. The challenge is to make the best Asphalt 9 video montage. Nikon and Anthony Joes will be the judges for it. I'm not a judge, unfortunately, but I don't really have time for that anyway. Also, unfortunately, when you upload your video, you need to put #AsphaltEdit in the title, and it will be considered then. Now, the recommended duration is 10 seconds to 40 seconds, but they say that is only a suggestion. You don't have to limit yourself to 40 seconds. If you feel that something longer, you could do better with. And here, after long last, we finally get a knockdown. So I will put a link in the description to all of the rules for that contest. I know I probably have not covered everything, so if you're interested in the contest and have at least some video editing skills, I greatly encourage you to check that out. I likely will not be making a submission because I have a whole bunch of other videos to make, and because I want there to be a higher chance of somebody to win who does not even have the car yet. And in this race, we come in 3rd position, behind 2 Vipers but ahead of 3 others, as well as that Aventador and the 911. Now for the final race in the video, in which we are facing 4 Dodge Vipers, 1 BMW M4, 1 Dodge Challenger SRT8, and 1 Porsche 911 Coupe. So now it's time for me to give my general review about this car. It is the 3rd best D-Class car in terms of times, and I would say that it may be the 3rd best car in D-Class for multiplayer as well. As you can see, it can do at least okay against some of these C and higher class cars. Not the greatest, as it doesn't really excel in anything, but it's not particularly horrible in anything. It's just a decidedly mediocre multiplayer car. In this season, it does okay in Gold League, but I would not not really recommend that you use it after that, because then the cars get a whole lot faster. Even in my Viper, I'm struggling a bit in Platinum League to get some good races in that car. So I do want to go through not only the good cars in the game, but also the ones that have been forgotten, that many people really don't think of as being particularly good for anything maybe, or at least not particularly good for multiplayer, and I want to give them their time to shine. So put in the comments, guys, any maybe forgotten car you would like to see me test in multiplayer. Of course, I can't get to all of them, as I can only upload a certain amount of videos per week, and of course I'm limited due to the seasons, but I would certainly like to hear your guys' suggestions. So we are coming up to the end of this race, and this Viper here we were actually catching up on because he was not in Nitro, and we were. However, it was not quite enough, and we come in second, although not too far behind him. Thank you all for watching. Please like the video if you enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt 8 and 9 content. And check out my new Asphalt 9 music video if you haven't seen it yet, and I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye!